front. Now we're going to see a little four-wide action. Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the record.
3 by 3 entering 4.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning at Talladega. Hello everybody and welcome into Saturday Night Money Racing Live and hosted by FEG-PC. Here we are at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Get ready for a good one. Appreciate everybody coming out. You are watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Looks like right now we're having a little bit of an issue with the frame rate. We're going to have to check that out in just a moment, but we're going to try to get things started here tonight with your starting grid. On the pole, it's going to be Matt Lee. To his outside, Matthew Baker. David Sheets, he'll roll off from the third position. How about Mark Von Dell? Good qualifying efforts for him. He'll start in fourth. Tim White back in fifth with Tyler Vickery in sixth. CJ Gates in seventh with Nash Brambilla in eighth. Chad Ross in ninth. Joshua McCall rounding out your top 10. Ken McCullough Jr. in 11th with John Mullahan in 12th. A little bit of a smaller field here tonight as well, and that is indeed going to be the end of your field. Taking a look at the race info here tonight, it is the SNMR 93, total of 93 miles. That breaks down to 35 laps. Everybody going to have 100% fuel, unlimited tires, no fast repair, and it is fixed setups as always. That no fast repair, whether you have 10 trucks or you have 40, that always catches a driver's attention. Got to keep it clean here and try to make it until the end. Track length here at Talladega, 2.65 miles. Temperature outside is going to be 84 degrees, 16% humidity. Cloudy skies, winds at 2 miles an hour. Track temp nice and cool at only 84 degrees. So this should not be an issue. It is going to be a good one here tonight. Baker on the outside, Matthew Lee on the inside. 35 laps, not a long way to go, and at 100% fuel, I think we're only expecting coming across to lead lap number 1. It's going to be Matthew Baker in the 5 truck, tucked in to a close second as Matthew Lee. Back in third is David Sheets. Mark Von Dell on the outside getting a push right now from Tyler Vickery in the 124 truck. Everybody going to have to get a little bit comfortable here. Small field though, usually a lot easier to do, and I think we're going to see some aggression here early. I don't think you have to worry about trying to wonder when you're going to be able to get down to the bottom for the pit stops. Field's too small to have that concern. And further back there you go right now. Still got a couple guys that it looks like are choosing to play a little bit safe right now. John Mullahan did not make the start. Chad Ross race control tonight. So right now it's actually only 10 trucks currently present and out on track. Brambilla and Ken McCullough Jr. choosing to sit back a little bit. They're going to play this thing safe as they don't like what they see up front right now. This 2x2 action still has them wondering, feeling a little bit sketchy. But just like that, lap 3 is going to go to Mark Von Dell as he pokes a nose in front. Mark, one of those guys, he likes to run conservative, but we know the talent level's there. And, man, when he wants to flex some muscle, boy, he finds a way to get a good push again from the 124, Tyler Vickery. Another one of the new guys that's bursted onto the money scene as of recent. Looking for a cash spot. I believe Logan York maybe helping support his entry fee here tonight. We'll see if he gets some help from another one of the independent drivers, Tim White, back in the 239 machine. And Tim White looks like, yeah, I don't think he's got any help. The 13 is another one of the guys that we're not used to seeing. I believe this might be CJ Gates' first race as well. But how about a little 3-wide action now as the 07 is going to roll up to the top. The 01 rather of Joshua McCullough. He'll fall back and have to drop in line behind Nash Brambilla. Mark Von Dell still leading, but it looks like things may be starting to single file out here just a little bit. And that first pit stop, again, not expecting it until just about, well, you can make it all the way till around lap 32. So honestly, you don't even have to go until we get just about at the end of this race, and maybe a couple guys are even going to try to save fuel. I don't know if that's quite the right strategy to go with, but it does seem like as of right now, that is what a couple people are committing to trying. We'll see if it works out. quick reminder, Ghost Racing Network, at least from just before we started this race, was at 999 subs. We're right there knocking on the door. If we can get one more tonight, that will be the 1,000 mark. Hoping we can get there either here in the FEG-PC Money Racing Series or over in the McCall Motorsports Money Racing Series later tonight. But still side by side with Mark Vondel in front, Matthew Baker in tow, Lee back in third. Those two teammates tonight, they're both going to be trying to take home a catch spot. The outside still trying to get rolling. It is CJ Gates leading. Let's stick it right on board. The driver with the number 13. Notice what he has to do. He's got to stay down on the door, trying right now to get to the right rear quarter panel of Matt Lee. If he can do so, that's where you start to get a little bit of a side draft that helps pull that lane further towards the front. But Matt Lee still doing a good job on the back bumper of Baker, who's doing a good job on the back bumper of Mark Vondel. If they keep up at this pace, they're going to have a chance to get clear here. Down the backstretch, not quite enough yet. Mark Vondel still hanging tough, but Matthew Baker maybe starting to run out of temps. He's going to fade a little bit for a moment. And Vondel going to have to fall back here. Only two trucks on the outside. I think maybe Baker here is hoping one of them will drop down, give him a chance to cool. Certainly doesn't want to see both. That's Tim White with a good push to CJ Gates, and it's so close, but it doesn't look like he's going to quite get enough to take it. So he'll stay content with what he's got for now, and he will have to stay on the outside. Finally gets clear going into turn one. New leader, it's the 13 of CJ Gates, and that's going to leave Tim White all by himself on the outside. He'll be looking for a spot to jump in line down the train. And I think all this single file action is indeed as a result of some of these guys thinking that maybe if they save, they can make it on fuel again. I know you can do 32 if you run in the draft for just about the entire run, but man, 35 really seems like a stretch. I don't know if we'll see any early pit stops, but you'll certainly see a late one if these guys feel like they're going to run out. And you will not be taking any tires, no thought of it. Fuel only, splash and go. The question will be who can get on pit road the best. 13 looking to control the lanes here a little bit. CJ jumped right back up to the top in front of Tim White. I think he's trying to help keep Tim up there. Tim did push him to the front. Mark Vondel having none of it. He's going to battle back on the inside, but Baker continues to sit back here, and I still think, Zach, let's take a ride on board here with Matthew Baker. Listen to the throttle tracing here. Yeah, he's not pushing the issue. In fact, you hear him letting off. I think he's saving fuel, maybe thinking about letting this 13 down in front, but not going to be able to do it. So, yeah, he is not pushing Mark Vondel. Continues to hang off the back bumper. And so that inside line is going to continue to fade. And I guess kind of fitting that maybe two of the newer guys going to the front. And I've been in this position before. You'd think, man, that wasn't so hard. And usually if it feels like it was easy to get to the front, there's a reason for that. And I think that reason right now is trying to make the fuel mileage to the finish. Look at the back of the pack. Looks like Mohan, after not starting the race, was never able to join. So it's Kenneth McCullough Jr. back of that 10th spot, and Asper Miller in 9th, Joshua McCullough in 8th, Tyler Vickery in 7th with David Sheets in 6th, Matt Lee in 5th, Matthew Baker in 4th, Mark Vondel, the last man in the podium right now in 3rd, and then Tim White and CJ Gates. We've been working that outside for a while. We're finally able to get clear. They drop, and now they're going to be the two guys punching the big hole in the air that the rest of the draft is using to save some fuel. As they go down the back straightaway. We saw side-by-side at the get-go, and you got to wonder, the guys that chose to not race, do they have maybe that extra half a lap to a lap that they're going to need to be the first guys to get racy at the end, and maybe the guys that try to push the issue earlier are going to have the track position to try to defend at the end. But each lap that ticks off here, if you are the 13 of CJ Gates, your chances of making it continue to decrease. Remember, when you're that front truck in the pack, you're burning the most fuel. You're punching the biggest hole in the air, and right now that is the responsibility of CJ Gates. Tim White having to do a good job of keeping Gates up there, so he's doing quite a bit of pushing. Mark Vondel, the first truck that really has the opportunity to save some fuel right here. And there's Matthew Baker back in 4th, Matt Lee in 5th, David Sheets in 6th, Tyler Vickery back in 7th, Joshua McCall in 8th, Asper Miller 9th, and Ken McCall Jr. rounding out your top 10, and you hear the difference. Just listen to the difference there. Your leader running about 7,000 RPMs. You go back here, Ken McCall Jr. He gets to about 7 right there, but still probably down maybe 100 to 200 RPMs below everybody else, and that translates to a big difference over the course of a run. As it looks like right now, maybe having a little bit more here of delay issues on the stream right now. I'm not sure what that's all about, but here is what it's going to be all about, is the pit stops right here. The money stop coming a little bit early from McCall Motorsports. And looking from the blimp cam here, do they all get in clean? Looks like they do. Not a bunch of trucks. The 03, the 01, the 124. David Sheets and Mark Vondel, the two that led them in. And so as we go back up front, that does leave 4, make it 5 trucks still out on the track. CJ Gates, Tim White, Matthew Baker, Matt Lee, and Nash Brambilla. And now you got to wonder, does Baker, Lee, and Brambilla bail on this strategy, or do they stay committed to it and hope that it works? If it works, you win the race. If it doesn't, man, you could be in a bad spot, because this McCullough Motorsports group that we just saw come into the pits, as they come out here, they are going to be running some fast lap times once they get linked together. So as we go back up front, coming through turns 3 and 4, waiting to see here, are we going to see another round of pit stops? Looks like we are. It is going to be just one car, the 239 of Tim White. He drops down, doesn't bring his wingman that he's been working with all night, and CJ Gates. And so now that leaves out Matthew Baker, Matt Lee, Nash Brambilla, and CJ Gates, who actually chose to drop to the back of this pack. Just like that, also 25 laps to go. Tim White, he's going to have to hope that he can hold on to the lead packer. Well, I guess I should say what's the second pack, but the lead pack that's already pit. And you're going to see them coming through the tribal here relatively soon. We'll go to the track map here. Take a look to pit lane cam, favorite cam for this. Here they come into the tribal, and yeah, he is unfortunately not even left the pits yet. So these guys are going to go flying right by. And McCullough Motorsports off to a good start, as they're going to be able to drop 1 truck. And now they're going to be hoping that they can drop 3 more after they decide to pit. So it'll be coming to 24 laps this time as they work their way through the short chute into the trioval. See the 18 a little bit further back, but Matthew Baker now leading. You got to wonder, did he save enough fuel right here to try to help Matt Lee and Nash Brambilla hang on to that pit stop? Or does Baker maybe start to think about himself here a little bit and say, guys, I'm running out of fuel. I got to hop to the back of this pack, go to the front, take it, do what you got to do. I cannot continue to lead the rest of these laps. And we're going to keep an eye on the gaps right here. Joshua McCall, CJ Gates. Right now it's about 31.4 seconds. And it looks like that McCullough Motorsports group is closing the gap as of right now. 24 laps to go. Matthew Baker leading at Talladega. We're going to take a quick commercial break to see if we can try to fix some of these delay issues. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Talladega. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the tribal.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the record.
3x3 entering 4.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. back live at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway, getting probably about halfway through, not quite just yet, of the SNMR 93 here. First money race of the night, doubleheader though, action coming your way just after this. We head over to the second race of the night. That's McCall Motorsports Money Racing Big Dog, Little Dog Series Championship. And as we noted before break, we were trying to work on some of the delay issues, but fortunately it's nothing I can do here tonight. The apartment I live in, it's just the internet's a little slow here tonight. So work with us. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in at the moment. And right now up front it is Joshua McCall, Mark Vondell, Tyler Vickery, Ken McCullough Jr., and David Sheets. And the big story is, can this second group catch the leaders? Both groups did make the pit stop. You saw the second group make that pit stop just as we were going to break. And when they came out and everything got settled, they were about 2.5 seconds behind your leaders. And since then, it's fallen just behind 3 seconds. But now that they've gotten linked back up, they're going to start trying to make some time back up. Ken McCall Jr., there's not much he can really do right here. Same thing for David Sheets. And in fact, Sheets got a penalty in the pits, so he fell a lap down. He's just up here trying to help his teammates out. CJ Gates was able to find a hole in that second group, and he kind of acted as a bridge truck, which helped these guys catch up as well. And so coming to 20, actually going to be coming to 19 laps to go, and that gap continues to stricken more and more, now under 2.9 seconds. Remember, if they can get it to 1.5 seconds, they will be in the draft, and once you get in the draft, you're going to get there. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take. But right now, if you're up front, you got a couple teammates. You right now are saying, guys, push, stay organized, do not even think about making a move. We got ourselves in a position to maybe beat one of the hardest teams there is to beat in NBG. And man, they can hold on here. They're going to have a chance to maybe sweep the payouts if you're McCall Motorsports. And on the other hand, if you're Tyler Vickery, maybe you don't realize it just yet, but this is going to be a tough spot to be in. Looks like as it stands, he is the only non-McCall Motorsports driver that is in this lead pack. He's got Ken McCullough Jr. and David Sheets behind him, Mark Vondell and Joshua McCullough in front of him. So we'll see if he decides to make a move or if he's content with staying there and maybe hoping the chips fall here by the end of the race. As we take a look back towards that second pack, the gap now is 2.67 seconds. Looks like it started to even out a little bit. I think part of that reason is that NASCAR Craftsman has started to get hot. He realizes that he's going to have to cool down. And as he tries to do just that, that second pack starts to fade. Joshua McCall and Mark Vondell, they haven't been pushing as hard. I think Mark more or less has been kind of trying to focus on just aero pushing, and the significance of that is he's able to stay cooler a little bit longer, continue to push when he needs to, but you got to stick close together. The more gaps you get, the slower that line's going to go. And there you go, 2.4 seconds. So that second group has trimmed it down by another 0.2. Going to be coming to 17 laps to go this next time. Big question is, can they get there? Chad Ross, John Mullihan, we talked about, that's your race control. Then John Mullihan wasn't able to make it out in the race, so we only had 10 trucks in total. And they have all found a spot in line either in this first group or the second group. Two of them currently a lap down, and that is David Sheets and CJ Gates. Those two hoping for a caution and battling for the lucky dog. Right now, Sheets has it. But if that second group catches up, that'll pull Gates right back into the mix. And if they're able to leapfrog this front group, then that might actually put CJ in position for that lucky dog. And man, for what looked like a promising chance of this first group to run away, doesn't look like it anymore. The gap is down to 1.8 seconds from the front bumper of Matt Lee to the rear bumper of Ken McCullough Jr. and David Sheets. And that means that they are now officially within the draft as it hits 1.5 seconds to the back bumper of David Sheets. That means these guys are going to get there. Mark Vondell also had to jump out of line to cool down. And so just like that, what was going to be a 4-truck race for the win is now going to turn back into about 7 or 8. Throw a couple lap cars in the mix, still going for a lucky dog. And speaking of lap cars, looks like the next victim up is going to be Tim White. He's going to need a caution here. He's going to need one soon because right now he's only about a quarter of a track ahead of the leaders. And so they're going to be set to catch him here probably right around the next lap or two. But he continues to stay out right now, fighting hard, fighting for whatever he can. Had a good run going early, but I think the pit strategy threw him off a little bit. Maybe made a mistake in the pits and cost him all that time and track position. The 04 of Matt Lee has NASCAR Villa just behind. NASCAR Villa is going to go to the high side along with CJ Gates. They know they're getting the run charged up. They're going to move up to the top side right now, try to assert some dominance. They don't want David Sheets or Mark Vondell thinking about making a move first. And if you're Ken McCullough Jr., what are you telling your teammates right now as the team captain? Nothing. He's saying, I feel confident down here. Let's stick with it. Here we go. Up top, Matt Lee, NASCAR Villa. They're going to try to get a run. They're getting a little bit of help from the lap truck of CJ Gates. Matthew Baker now looking like he's going to split it 3 wide. They're trying to ditch the 13 truck, it looks like. Matt Lee, though, he gets stuck up top. So just like that, we are going to go 3 by 3 with only 10 trucks in total. And they're coming up on a lap or so. They're going to need to get this sorted out here pretty quick or things could start to get a little dicey. And it'll be 14 laps to go when we get to the line next time. Ken McCullough Jr., he'll jump up to the middle lane just in front of NASCAR Billa. Matthew Baker looking to jump back in front of Matt Lee. And those two teammates, I think they're going to drop to the back, maybe fall back even a little bit further. Try to gear up a run, see who's going to go with them, or see if they can't just make that charge all the way to the lead with just a duo. NASCAR Billa, I think he's committed right now to pushing Ken McCullough Jr. But how about on the inside? Let's give some more props here to what Tyler Vickery has been able to do here tonight. We saw him in PGR. We've seen him in a couple different series. But here he is in FEG-PC, the driver out of Orlando, with a good-looking run so far. Looking like he could have a pretty good shot at cashing in on some money here at the end of the night. And as it stands right now, 14 laps to go. Going to be 13 next time. So we're starting to wind down on the end of this race. And again, everybody has already taken their final fuel. And I wouldn't say final tires necessarily, but point is you're not coming back in if you want a chance of winning this race, especially if we stay green. But even if we get a caution, I just don't think you can afford to come in right now and mess up, lose your track position. We're going to see another 3-wide run here. Here come the two NBG boys, Baker and Lee up top. Baker with a little bit of run. Lee stuck to his bumper. Is it enough to get clear of the middle? And I think if you're Baker right here, as much as you'd like to pull your teammate, right now you're just worried about can you get clear of NASCAR Billa. As soon as you can, I think you got to jump to the middle to take it. That is exactly what he's going to do. Oh, big moment. NASCAR Billa, he's able to somehow catch it. What a close call that was right there for the 13 truck. Excuse me, the 18 truck. NASCAR Billa was all out of shape. Looked like maybe he got a little help from behind, but he found a way to hold on, save it. And he's able to continue on the way as a result. Ken McCullough Jr. now the leader on the inside with a push from Tyler Vickery. NASCAR Billa doesn't look like got very gun shy at all from that close call that he had just about a lap ago. Just as quickly as he fell off, he is right back to the back bumper of Matthew Baker. CJ Gates currently now in that lucky dog position as David Sheets fell back a spot. And can't forget about Tim White. He's in this battle as well for the lucky dog. And right now he's playing the opposite strategy of the other two leaders. Instead of battling him for it, he's going to stay back. And if these guys pile it up here on one of the last laps, he is going to take those spots and ultimately be able to get the lucky dog position. All right, the calm before the storm. They're going to start to single file back out, 2 up top before things get too hectic. How about a little crank it up at Talladega? Here we go. And that will do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy. 10 laps to go. That's the milestone marker. It's go time right now. And up top, it is Ken McCullough Jr. leading the lane. On the bottom, it's NASCAR Billa, not for long. Ken quickly going to switch back down to the bottom. That'll give Matthew Baker a chance to get some fresh temps. He's got a teammate behind him in Matt Lee, but I don't believe they've got a third man here tonight. NASCAR Billa potentially their next best bet, but right now, he appears to be boxed in on the bottom And I think with that knowledge, if you're Ken McCullough Jr. right here, you can switch lanes almost to free will and shouldn't have to worry about anybody trying to split you, at least at this point. It's exactly what it looks like he's doing as he is running the top. Matthew Baker doesn't look like he has any plans to try and move, continuing to stick behind him, stay smooth. Mark Vondel back to fourth. We saw him as high as first earlier on in this race, but no surprise that it is indeed Ken McCullough Jr. who is your biggest mover. He's up 10 in total, and a lot of guys wonder, how can it be so good when you don't see the qualifying effort some of these times? Well, that's because a lot of times Ken chooses not to qualify. He knows that with these races, sometimes the beginning gets crazy. You got a long ways to go. No point in racing too early. Stay back, keep everything tidy, keep the truck clean, make it to that first green flag pit stop. And then once you do that, that's when you can start to make some decisions on how aggressive you want to get. It's exactly what Ken McCullough Jr. has done, and so far it's working out well. Because again, he has made up over 10 spots from where he started this race at. Just as quickly though as I'm talking about him leading, Nash from Villa has now switched over to the lead. The 13 also up there, that is CJ Gates, but he's not fighting for the lead. He's fighting to see if he can get that lap back. And if he's able to get in front of Nash from Villa as the caution were to fly, he'd get that. He's getting a lot of pushing right now. Oh, it's starting to wash up the track. Oh, he's going to get turned towards the inside wall. Big hit for the 13 of CJ Gates. Not able to avoid that one. With 8 laps to go. He needed a caution, but he certainly didn't want to be in it. And it looks like that left front is banged up as that truck's wobbling all around. He doesn't have much control. So he's going to have to try to limp this back to the pits. Let's go see if we can take a look what happened. You saw him starting to wash up, and I think he's just going to get turned around by the truck behind. It's a little bit of a sketchy, odd situation, however you want to phrase it here. And so there's the 124 of Tyler Vickery. And as the 13 went up, that gets him offset. In fact, try to see, does the 13 get any help initially to get sent up? Looks like, yeah, he does. The 124 of Tyler Vickery gets him square on the first bump. However, it still sends that truck up the track a little bit as CJ starts to work his way back down. The 01 of Joshua McCall gets to the 124, pushes him in to the 13. Nothing CJ can do except at this point is lock it down and hope he doesn't hit the wall. But, well, he ran out of real estate in a hurry there, and that was one heck of an impact. Back up front, still side by side though, as the caution again did not fly for that last incident. Ken McCullough Jr. now back to the point on the bottom. Nash from Villa up top. Matthew Baker, Matt Lee, 2 stacked pushers, but you wonder, do those 2 teammates think about making a move on the last lap, or do they stay committed to Nash from Villa right here? Mark Vondel, he's in the mix, and just below them is David Sheets in the 01. As we come to 5 laps to go next time, don't forget, if we make it all the way to the white flag, which again, it's still going to be 4 laps from next time we cross the line, this race will be official. You can't have any more cautions. It's been clean so far. Again, only a 10-truck field in total to start the race as Chad Ross was race control Mullihan with some technical difficulties. So I think the payouts are still going to be pretty decent. However, I don't think there's going to be a big range in terms of maybe it's only first or second instead of first through fifth. And with that knowledge, you got to have your teammates up here, but you got to be ready to get aggressive when you need to. It's exactly what Nash from Villa has been doing right now as he finds himself taking the lead on the bottom. Question here for Nash is he going to try to control these lanes, or does he stick to the bottom the rest of the way? Oh, got a little bit of a push right there from Ken, right in the middle of the tribal. Shot that truck up the track. And then on the outside, it is now down to 2 trucks. It's just the duo of Matthew Baker and Matt Lee. If they need some more help, they're not going to get it from Mark Vondel or David Sheets. That's 2 of the McCullough Motorsports drivers. But here we go. Ken McCullough Jr., he doesn't want to stay second anymore, but he's going to get split. Now he's going to get some help from the teammates. Joshua McCall jumps up to the middle along with David Sheets and Mark Vondel. In the game that maybe we're used to seeing one of the teams like NBG be able to play, McCullough Motorsports playing it perfectly here tonight. And this move isn't only going to hold off that charging third lane, but it is going to get the 03 of Ken McCullough Jr. back clear and by plenty of the 18 Nash from Villa. That'll give Joshua McCall the lead on the outside. Mark Vondel second, pushing his teammate David Sheets third in that train as well. And so now Matthew Baker and Matt Lee, this is all going to be about setting up for that one big run. Do you save it for the last lap? Do you do it a little bit sooner? Point is, whenever you decide to do it, you're going to have one chance at it. You got to make it count. These guys all going to be coming to what's going to be 3 laps to go this next time at the line. Ken McCullough Jr. that time with another big push from Nash from Villa. Got him a little offset. Got him below the apron. And that might be just enough right here for Joshua McCall to get clear. Mark Vondel pushing for all he's worth. Not going to do it. Brambilla stays locked on enough to keep Ken McCullough Jr. up in front. David Sheets still back here, but keep an eye. In fact, let's hop on board here real quick with Matthew Baker and Matthew Lee. These are the two guys that I think are setting up for that one big move, the make or break move. And as they fall back from this pack, they're just testing to see how big of a run they can get. And we'll see who decides to go where. I think maybe Baker lets Matt Lee up in front and pushes him. There he goes. And so now Matt Lee's going to be the eyes, and Baker's going to be the powerhouse pushing. 3 laps to go. They're gearing up for the run. Watch what they do here. They're going to stay on the bottom all the way through the corner on exit. They'll wash up to the middle before going to that 3rd lane up top. Question is that run enough to get all the way through? Here you go to the top line. They go. Sheets not able to block it. Vondell, nothing either. Joshua McCullough, does he think about trying to move out to the 3rd lane? Looks like he doesn't. He feels content leading the middle. Matt Lee with a big surge of momentum. All but gets clear. Joshua McCullough, I thought he had it right there for maybe just a split second. Not able to take it, but I'm telling you, Baker and Lee, they learned something right there. They learned that with just 2 trucks, you can still make it work as long as you time it right. And I think that's going to be what we see as our last lap move, is Matthew Baker and Matt Lee trying to sag back a little bit, maybe pull David Sheets along as well. But 2 laps to go. Joshua McCullough leads. Ken McCall Jr. in 2nd. Mark Vondell in 3rd. And right now, McCullough Motorsports looking to go for a 1-2-3. NBG Motorsports looking to steal one tonight with just the duo that they've got, and Matthew Baker and Matt Lee. NASCAR Villa on the bottom looking to do it as one of the independents along with Tyler Vickery. And that pretty much sums up what we have seen all night with this lead pack. Got a little bit of single file action there for a little bit. But boy, after that one green flag pit stop that we were waiting on, action has picked up. And it is picked up in a pretty aggressive way. Sheets, White, all hoping for a caution right now as they still sit a lap down. Not looking like they're going to get one. So when we take the white flag, we're going to end this race with 7 trucks on the lead lap. Ken McCullough Jr. versus Joshua McCullough Jr. 2 father versus son duos going at it. We see them in different series. Jason Maines, Garrett Maines versus Ken McCullough Jr. and Joshua McCall, but they are looking to see if they can get a 1-2 tonight. Ken McCullough Jr. drops to the bottom as the white flag was waved. Matthew Baker up top. Matt Lee looking for another push. They might get some help right here from Mark Vondell. Maybe Tyler Vickery as well. Does he think about jumping up? And he does. Never mind. The 124 is going to commit back low. That top line does not have any momentum right now. Ken McCullough Jr. still on the bottom with Joshua McCall. And now we are going to see Mark Vondell, David Sheets jump up. Watch for those 2 to think about 3 wide. If they do, that's really going to hurt the momentum of the middle and help the bottom roll. And this is going to come down to all about how can teammates help teammates. There goes Mark Vondell up to the top. David Sheets is going to follow. Does Matthew Baker think about a block? He doesn't. He's going to hold it right where he is. Ken McCall Jr. on the inside. The 5 on the outside. No run. Ken McCall Jr. will do it. He is going to win Saturday Night Money Racing. Gets the job done in what is probably one of the most tame races we've had a chance to call in a while. Maybe not quite the photo finish we were looking for, but a nice clean one, to say the least. Ken McCall Jr., the veteran, the 2023 champ, he comes out on top. Let's go take a look at the checkered flag moment here of the night. And you kind of expected these 2 to take it through wide. They needed to get to the front, and at the same time they know, well, even if it doesn't work out for us, we're going to be helping our teammates in the process. As soon as they do that, that inside line just starts to break up. The run's just not there now. It does look like Joshua McCall starts to wash up, actually gets into Matthew Baker. That really hinders that middle line as well. And then Ken McCall Jr. able to come across the line. He's going to win it here by about a truck and a half. As you see Joshua McCall come in 2nd, then Nash Brambilla wrecked at the line along with Mark Vondell, gets upside down before landing back on all 4. As we go back up front, Ken McCall Jr., no burnout. He will get ready for his interview. But here we go, taking a look at your results here tonight. That was qualifying. Let's go ahead and pull up your race results. Ken McCall Jr. gets the win in 2nd. It's Joshua McCall, 1-2 for McCullough Motorsports. Matthew Baker finishes in 3rd. Nash Brambilla 4th. Mark Vondell 5th. Matt Lee in 6th. Tyler Vickery in 7th. David Sheets 8th with Tim White in 9th. CJ Gates rounding out your top 20. Chad Ross in 11th with John Mullihan rounding out the field in 12th. And don't forget, Ross and Mullihan not actually part of the field, so only 10 trucks to finish this whole ordeal off. All right, we are going to go see if we can find your top 3, get them in here for interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Going to start first tonight with your third place finisher, Matthew Baker. Baker, this is Austin in the booth. Got a copy?
What's up, man?
Well, a little bit of a more calm race here tonight. You definitely had a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of teammates tonight. You only had one. McCullough Motorsports with a lot more, but nonetheless, you bring home a podium. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, we just trying to stick together, Matt and I there. Moved to the third lane. It was a call by me. I didn't expect all the McCulloughs to get lined up in the second lane by 4 trucks, so that kind of screwed us, so we just reset, got a run back, thought I could push Matt to the lead. We almost got there, and then was able to split Vondell there, coming to the white flag, and that's what ultimately got us at least one payout spot.
Certainly did. Well, again, a shorter race here tonight. We did see a green flag pit stop, and of course you prevailed on that. No cautions. So before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just thanks to Matt, Ghost and Thunder, MVG Motorsports, Baker & Son Construction, Martin Sports. Thanks to you for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Jeff for putting on the race. And a lot of good, clean racing up front. No dumb moves being made by teammates. Usually you see games played with this little cars, but no games being played that whole time. It was a lot of fun.
Certainly looked like it from up here. Well, thank you for talking to us. Congrats again on the third place finish, and we will see you out here next week.
Thanks, bud.
All right, now that's going to move us to your second place finisher here on the night, Joshua McCall. Josh, this is Austin in the booth. Got a copy?
Gotcha.
Well, small race. You still bring home some good money here tonight. You get the second place finish, and you push your old man to the win. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good, man. It was a sketchy race. I was kind of worried. Mark was doing a really good job on his pushing. I thought we had him on that pit stop because we had a good gap, but they ran us down.
I'll tell you what, you bring home second. It was a green flag race overall, but man, when we started to see a little bit of racing towards the end, was there ever a thought of trying to pull out a line and maybe steal one for yourself, or were you committed to pushing?
Once they came up there, once they caught us, I was like, I dropped to the back because this case they did wreck because I knew they were about to start racing hard.
Well, you bring home the second place finish. So before we let you head out to enjoy your winnings, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
I want to thank the team, and I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast.
And we want to thank you for talking to us. Congrats on the second, and hopefully we'll see you next week as well.
Thank you.
All right, now that'll bring us to your winner here tonight, Ken McCullough Jr. Ken, this is Austin in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, well, you get the win. It's a 1-2 for McCullough Motorsports. But a smaller race here tonight, and you guys still find a way to do it. You had some tough competition with NBG. How'd you get the job done?
Teammates, man, teammates. I feel bad for Mark there. I feel like I ran too high there, and he was just following my bumper and gave NBG the middle there. I hate it for him because he was doing a wonderful job of pushing me tonight.
Certainly was. We saw a couple 3-wide moves there towards the end, but overall a tame race. Early on, though, we saw some strategy play. Looked like it was going to work out. How did you guys make that decision? And what more do you think you can do next time to try to maybe get it to fulfill, just be a 5-car race the rest of the way?
I knew they were going to try to save, and we kind of forced our hand there. We decided to go ahead and pit early and make them go hard because they were definitely going to try to save and make it. It was going to be close, but hey, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. We had a pretty good gap there on the field when we made them pit stops, but you know how it is when you get hot, you start losing time to them.
Well, it certainly worked out here tonight. You get the win. Before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you, man, for doing these broadcasts you do day in and day out. Thank Jeff for putting these things on. Thank Chad for doing race control tonight and all the fans out there watching.
Thank you for talking to us. Small race, but big money for your winner tonight, Ken McCall Jr. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That is just about going to wrap up our coverage tonight here at Talladega. Again, smaller race, a little bit of a more laid-back broadcast, but it was fun nonetheless. 10 trucks started, and we had 10 finish as well, a couple of laps down. But don't forget here, in just under an hour, we are going to be throwing the green flag over in McCall Motorsports Money Racing for the Little Dog Big Dog Series. That will be broadcasted live on Ghost Racing Network as well. Apologies for, again, some of the delayed issues. Hopefully you still enjoyed the broadcast. We appreciate everybody coming out. Again, looking for that one more subscriber. See if we can get it here tonight.